One of my favorite aspects when it comes to the new season of Pokemon is, of course, trying to speculate the Pokemon team that each protagonist will have by the end of the series. Given that our time with Ash and Pikachu has concluded, that means we get new generation of protagonists to work with and, of course, discuss. Greetings everyone, my name is KGPrestige and I welcome y'all to this video where we will be discussing the Pokemon members Liko could have by the end of the Horizon series. Given that this show is built upon traveling across the various regions of the Pokemon world, the choices that each protagonist has is now open to pretty much any of these adorable critters. So let's go ahead and jump right into it and clear out the very obvious ones that are already present in her team. Sprigatito, the cute grass cat Pokemon. I will say this, the people who are working on this show clearly know the body language of a cat as shown within the series itself, especially during the first episode. So far, I will say I am impressed by what they've done with Sprigatito. Having gone through training and multiple battles against allies and even enemies, Sprigatito is shown to be a very capable Pokemon even at its early stages. This does beg the question as to whether or not the show will attempt to take Sprigatito's character a bit further by actually going out of their way to make it evolve all the way into a Meowscarada. This definitely carries some pros and cons with it, especially for a partner Pokemon like Sprigatito. Obviously the pros being that we get to see the Pokemon's true potential in its final stage, using its signature move Flower Trick and potentially mastering the power of the terrestrial phenomenon that is essentially the main gimmick introduced within Scarlet and Violet. So there's clearly a lot of good that could come from this once it evolves into a Meowscarada. The cons, however, given how past seasons has handled it, the moment Sprigatito evolves, the amount of presence that this Pokemon will have in the show will sadly decrease over time to make room for all of the other smaller Pokemon Liko will possess as we continue on the Horizons journey. Now, this normally isn't a bad thing. You know, obviously that means the other Pokemon will get moments of focus and of course development throughout the series. That all depends, however, if the show's storytelling and how they handle all of that transitions properly from Sprigatito's character moment being taken out to be replaced by someone else upon evolution. It'll be interesting to see how they intend to work around it. I'm very much excited for Sprigatito's future. This turtle creature here, the one that's going to be a major focus for the upcoming DLC of Scarlet and Violet. Honestly, I don't know what to really say regarding this creature due to its small presence in the series so far. Now, of course, this will change over time as we dive deeper into the show and learn more about its connections to Liko and, of course, those mysterious Pokeballs, but as of now, I will consider this Pokemon similar to how the games, being of Scarlet and Violet, handle Koraidon/Miraidon, being the 7th Pokemon member. So, this one won't be taking up one of the main slots within Liko's team, but I felt it was kinda needed to address before we continued on into the next member. I'm curious as to what they intend to do with this Pokemon story-wise. We already know it has a connection with the necklace and supposedly might have connections with Lucius and the Ancient Adventurer and all those 6 other Pokemon. Maybe, maybe not, I'm not sure in that aspect, but that is going to be something that will definitely keep me invested with this storyline for sure. So, as I was working on this video, Liko had already obtained her second Pokemon, that being of Hatenna, and I thought I might as well make a quick impressions on the episode overall. It definitely did a solid job explaining the emotions of Pokemon and trainers and what it means to open themselves up to others so that they can feel warm and safe, and Hatenna was able to pretty much resonate with this, especially with Liko, which is why the Pokemon was quickly able to accept her help when it needed it during the rainstorm. And of course why, at the end of the episode, it was able to accept Liko fully by joining her team. Liko and Hatenna, especially shown off within this episode, share very similar personalities in certain aspects, so it'll be interesting to see how the show will continue with that route that they'll take for both Liko and of course this creature, because we're not really sure if this Pokemon will evolve all the way to a Hatterene or if it'll simply evolve one form into a Hatchrim and leave it at that. So time will tell in regards to this creature's future. Swablu is the next Pokemon choice in my list. Now, personally, I was looking to find the perfect flying type Pokemon that could assist Liko in her journey, and the choice that I came up with by the end, to me, is Swablu. I don't know why, but this adorable kind swab Pokemon just feels right for Liko. And we can watch her train this adorable little creature to become an Altaria, which then can be used for the future in allowing her to fly from destination to destination within the various regions of the Pokemon world, and could also give an opportunity for Liko to sort of go on her own adventures every now and then as she continues to progress as a character within the series of Horizons. Also, given that upon evolution, this Pokemon gains the Dragon typing, it would be kind of fun to watch Liko take control of a Dragon-type Pokemon and have it in battle against members of, say, the Rising Volt Tacklers and, of course, the antagonists of the series, the Explorers. Given that we are currently hopping from region to region, I would love to at some point see the cast arrive to the Hoenn region, where we end up actually visiting Fortree City and the city gym, where she could get introduced to Winona and her partner Pokemon Altaria to help train this Swablu, and maybe even introduce Mega Evolution with, say, Mega Altaria. Now, I have no idea if they will introduce the gimmicks of the past to the main protagonists, and if these protagonists will actually obtain gimmicks from the past to be used in their future development storylines, but just having it be out there to begin with and have it be introduced doesn't really sound like a bad idea at all, in my opinion. Only time will tell if we ever actually find ourselves in the world of Hoenn, and maybe we might actually see Winona contribute some form of development for Liko. They sort of did that with Kabu not too long ago. I don't see why other gym leaders of the past can't also help contribute to her development as well. Wiglet. Yes, you heard me right. This wiggly weird creature of oddity, I feel, deserves to be in Liko's team. And to be quite honest, I have no idea as to why, other than the thought of it being hella funny to watch on scene in the anime series. That's really it. Given that it's just such an obscure creature and such a weird choice, I love to see what kind of creative liberties the Horizon anime could take with this Pokemon and help make it shine. So the bit of information that I know about Wiglet is that this Pokemon has an incredible sense of smell ranging over 60 feet. And of course, the mystery behind the Wiglet being that we don't really know what's actually down below, similar to Diglett. You know, we only ever really see the top part of the head. So it really would be funny to kind of see if they could maybe work around with that at some point with the range of smell and of course the mystery surrounding the Wiglet and the Diglett line. I think there could be some fun that could play with that. I think it would just be really hilarious, and I hope they actually go out of their way to do so. Last choice, and I feel this one can kind of annoy people, but given that this has sort of been a trope since, say, the X and Y series, I feel like this is something that most people should not really be surprised with. I think that's the best word of choice to use. So, normally in past storylines, a female protagonist always seems to be given the obligatory Pokemon Eevee. Liko is sort of in a position where I believe Eevee could play a pivotal role in her character. The storyline is focusing more on the necklace right now, so that's sort of carrying the series at this moment, and of course carrying Liko's storyline. So once she's able to sort of branch out between herself and the necklace, that's when I think her arc can finally begin. And that, I feel, is where Eevee will be introduced into this. And given that Eevee is the one that has the evolution possibilities of evolving into whatever it could be, whether it's a Jolteon, a Sylveon, a Vaporeon, a Glaceon, you name it. This Pokemon has been a key, essential character that helps trainers sort of discover their pathway, and it's thanks to those evolution possibilities. So I believe that Eevee could be one that can help Liko sort of begin to learn a little bit more about herself and of course discover what she would love to do in the distant future. And I hope the Horizons anime actually takes an opportunity to reveal it and also kind of play around with it by the time we reach the end of the storyline. It's gonna happen because Eevee's a very popular Pokemon, and hell, even when Ash left, Pikachu was still around. It might not be Ash's Pikachu, but it's still a Pikachu regardless. And as of this moment, Eevee is nowhere introduced within the main cast, either within the Rising Volt Tacklers or within the Liko's team, Roy's team, and Dot's team. It is a part of the Explorers, however, so maybe that's what they're going to be focusing on, and that's where the evolution is going to lie. But that will be something we'll find out together when the future continues. These are my obscure choices for Liko's team. Now, personally to me, as I stated before, I don't think that she will carry a full team, mainly because of the fact that we talked about the ancient heroes, the 6 heroes that were introduced in the anime, such as this Arboliva here. But if that isn't the case, then these are the choices I came up for with Liko's team. It is interesting taking this approach for Liko, given that we don't need to think about any leagues or say world championships or any of that sort of stuff when it comes to Liko's cast, mainly because of the fact that essentially this series is going on a completely different approach for its storytelling. So having a full team or not, I don't think is going to necessarily affect what Liko will do for the future. But I still believe that it would be fun to watch her grow as a character, and who better to help that than the Pokemon that she obtains along the way. I feel like there is a lot of opportunities that this series can take with this mindset, so I'm curious to see what ideas the writers and the staff will have for Liko's character. With that being said, that'll be it for me for today's video. I haven't done one of these in a long time, so I might feel a little bit rusty with this one, but I'm curious to hear what y'all have to say about this down below in the comment section. Let me hear your thoughts on what you guys would think would be the best choice of Pokemon for Liko's team. Of course, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and look forward to more future videos here on this channel, as well as other content later down the road here as well. It's going to be an interesting way to kind of work around what I want to try to do for the future, so thumbs up and all that stuff will be hella nice. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care everyone, and as always, make sure to have yourselves an awesome day.